Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the UKEL. We just witnessed Vector Gaming getting their first win with the MVP-worthy performance from Extra Cheeky in the top lane, which is why we named him our MVP for that first game. But now we have London Esports versus Bulldog, both sit at 1-1 and want to break away from the central pack of the standings and earn themselves one of the higher up spots. Now, Harry, give me your thoughts on London, because London came in pegged as one of the top, if not the top team, and they are sitting at 1-1.
Hasib.
That one-word answer. Cool.
Yes, that's all you ever need to know. It's just Hasib.
Just Hasib.
That man can carry the game, and no matter what. And worth noting that I'm pretty sure their one loss, was it them that played the 4v5, I believe it was?
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to draw through. It's like, their instincts. Like, well, they played 45, man. I don't fully remember what happened in that situation because it was not there for it. But I'm pretty sure it was them that ended up having to play out that 45. So it's always good to see them play with their full squad. Of course, they'll be up against Bulldog, a team that are really sort of making the rounds. They were champions of Belong last split, playing again with the same roster, I believe. Now they're here under the Bulldog name, and I believe a lot of them are also playing on a Newell team together as well. So it's very interesting team to see, because they just make a lot happen together across this sort of tier of the UK scene. So always nice to see that going. But in terms of the actual matchup itself, London, a lot of people thought coming into this they were going to be the strongest team in the tournament, and they definitely have the strongest bot lane. And in our current meta of playing around your dragons and your Rift Heralds and then going back down to your dragons and whatnot, having a strong bot lane, always very, very strong, and there is no stronger lane than Hasib and Oliver.
Well, we are just waiting another couple of minutes to get into Champion Select, just waiting on one final player to get into the lobby, but I would like to congratulate Blue Spirits on making Challenger. I think that's very impressive, and we should recognize that. And I hear that he's doing pretty well in solo queue. Whether he can bring that sort of level of expertise to the UKEL is left to be seen, since it is still just that 1-1 mark, but we're expecting great things still from the roster. Do you want or hope for any sort of unusual picks? We did see the Soraka last game in the bottom lane with the Galio, which is quite unusual. Is there anything else that you have seen maybe throughout some of the other regions that you'd like to see?
Well, particularly I think Hasib and Oliver don't need to do anything spicy. They know what they're doing. Put Ollie on his Pike or Thresh or some sort of similar playmaking hook champion like that. You put Hasib on Misfortune, Kai'Sa, Tristana, you're gonna have a good time, And that's not something London particularly need to do. We look over at the side of Bulldog, and there's a little bit more options. Of course, Wins has a sort of interesting champion pool. He plays Yasuo, Twisted Fate, Corki, and these aren't champions that are sort of predominantly played by most people right now. We're looking at seeing things more like the Kiana in the mid lane, Rumble's coming up mid lane a little bit as well, so more mages and stuff like that. Rise, Cassiopeia, Caston, of course. So having these sort of more roaming and tower-taking focused champions, it does open more opportunities for your comp. And then, of course, if you have a capable Yasuo player in the mid lane, you can always just run something easy, like Yasuo, Gragas, or even just put Sejuani in the jungle as well. The Sejuani not something we see too much this patch, although, of course, it was recently buffed, and even something we could be seeing a lot more coming into the next patch when, of course, those buffs do go through to the Sunfire Cape. So there's a few little options there for Bulldog to try and maybe sneak out this time, but I think London don't need to do anything too fancy. It seems that for the most part across the board, they do just have the better players.
Well, I would like to see something pretty spectacular from either side. It's just a lot more interesting to see these games and see some of these unusual picks coming through. Although I do enjoy standard League of Legends as well. As you said, Gragas, a very popular pick as well, can be paired up with the Yasuo if they want to go that direction. But it's always good to see an AP jungler anyway, so that they can diversify their comp a little bit, as you said. Maybe go for the Kiana in the mid lane, something AD, There's always the least that's available for jungle as well, and something like something maybe unusual. I'd like to see maybe a Xin Zhao or something, but there's always the Olaf and J4 available, which is a very popular pick.
Yeah, which are the same champion but are better. I mean, Xin Zhao and Jarvan are literally identical champions. And Jarvan, yeah, just slightly better now.
But one blocks auto attacks from far away.
Alright, then we'll put Jax in instead. He's the same champion. We've got an interesting pick coming through recently is Trundle as a counter to the Olaf. That might be something that we do end up seeing through. I think Rosalina played that semi-recently. I feel like I've seen Rosalina play that champion before, but it's just a little bit of an interesting counter to the Olaf. It's obviously has its limitations in the fact that it's Trundle jungle, but he has been getting sort of one of the many Riot specials, which is that you just sort of slowly buff a champion over the course of 7 patches until people eventually realize, oh, hang on, this champion's nutty. And Trundle is a little bit in a situation like that. Of course, having the pillar very useful when you're up against that Trundle for reasons that we saw last game, where being able to make walls is usually pretty good. We also saw, I believe it was... I believe it was Bulldog in week 1 that pulled out the Anivia comp? Oh, it wasn't Anivia comp, but did they... Am I making that up? Was it Bulldog that... Oh, no, that was Peak in week 1, yeah, that had the spicy Anivia pick that was not something that you often see, but did well as another good counter into the Olaf as well. So again, a couple of choices across the board, but we are actually deep into this pick ban already. There's Lucian, Set, and Soraka all taken away.
Don't want to see that Soraka in any position from the side of Bulldog. Want to take that away, and Syndra also taken off the board. So flex picks on both sides taken away, the Set and the Lucian. Waiting a few more seconds to see what else is going to be prioritized in the ban phase, and it might give us a little bit of an idea what they want to pick up as their early priority. Bulldogs, of course, London, of course, have the first pick. We'll ban away the Aphelios.
Alright, well, Misfortune is open. And that final ban will be the Yuumi, so no Olaf comboing shenanigans there. And yep, there it is, Misfortune locked on in. With the Set, Aphelios, Soraka all taken off the table, she tends to be the next priority champion, so we have to see what's going to be the response for that. As the Braum is available, with the Lucian banned out by London. That is quite smart, because you know that Bulldog probably want to pick up the Braum here as a counter to that Misfortune. As, of course, if they do not, she's going to be able to get some pretty hefty ults off. So by banning out Lucian, you can sort of get a little bit preemptive with that one.
Well, they will pick up the J4, another jungler that likes to be taken with the MF for that nice wombo combo. Will they pick up the Braum here just to take it away from Oliver so that they don't pair it up with the MF? And looks like they will.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. There it is, and the Braum has the added benefit that it stops you picking Ornn as well. Although, to be fair, the Braum may not have been too awful, may not have been too vital to be picked here by Bulldog, because they do, of course, have Wins, who could then go on his Yasuo there. So there are a few options here for Bulldog, but a pretty nice pickup here would actually be the Ornn, because you know, obviously, you can't get it countered away by the Braum, and it's very impossible for Ornn to lose lanes. It's a little bit specific there. If you already have the Braum, picking up an Ornn for yourself can go quite nicely. However, there is a lot of opportunity to ban out ADCs here, as we already see 2 taken off the table, and London have their bot lane, so they know exactly what they want to do. So it looks like the ADC will be the lock-in for Bulldog, which likely leaves open an Ornn ban for London.
Yeah, interesting that they decided to still go for the Senna priority. A lot of teams have shied away from that pick and gone more for Varus and a few other picks like that. Even the Jinx, we have seen kind of rise in priority in the last couple of weeks, but now the next few bans coming through, Diana will be taken off the board.
Diana taken out Kassadin as well. I have to wonder what is going to be this mid lane matchup. If you're banning out the Kassadins, sort of implying that you're going to go for something a little bit more AP centric in the mid lane, and Nice Guy Dom known for his Orianna performance as well, champion that does not have a very fun time versus the Kassadin, so that could be an indication that might be the pick they want to go for, and you combo that up with the Misfortune, you're having a nice time. Lee Sin can get a good ball delivery going as well, and there is of course the Ornn ban. Take that one away from Bulldog, who will now be forced to pick up their potentially their top lane, potentially their mid laner, but they will of course have the counter pick available to them as they're on that red side.
Nice Guy Dom did play Orianna last week, and they did pick up their first win of the UKEL there. So they're lacking Tristana. A bit of flexibility left with this Bulldog comp.
I know, I like that. It's the Tristana mid, obviously very nice when you've got Braum Jarvan. You expect to see level 1 shenanigans here from Bulldog. Braum Jarvan is so strong, level 1, because obviously Braum has concussive blows. You've now got 2 ranged champions to stack that up, and you've got Jarvan E as well, just to not only give vision, but just that little bit of extra attack speed really helps, not just on stacking up the first Q, but also if you then start to find multiple people, you can start to get out quite a few stuns there. But of course, Nice Guy Dom will be locking in that blind, oh, not blind, of course, we know it's Tristana mid, but he will be locking in that Orianna as expected. If Dom's in the game and Orianna's open, you can be pretty confident he's going to be picking it, and so now it will be a blind top lane lock-in for London.
That Tristana could be potentially flexed towards the top lane as well, and
It could be, but
I wouldn't really want to
Probably
see it into the Kled though, so I'd rather see it AD carry or mid lane.
it's not great. I mean, obviously you can play it top, but it's sort of the reason it's so strong mid is that you can punish excessively when people leave, because you can just push the lane instantly and then bomb the tower. And likewise, if you overpush, rocket jump is basically the length of the whole lane. If you're playing solo in a top lane, you don't really have that kind of advantage. It takes a little bit longer to push out. People aren't going to leave the lane as often, so you won't be able to punish and get those early plates. And if you do push out, you're suddenly in a lot more of a stickier situation. But the final pick that will be the match into that Kled is going to be the Kennen. That's a champion that's going to have a bit of a rough time early on, but once you hit 6, you're in a pretty good spot because you can just ult to disengage, and it does bring a nice bit of magic damage towards this team. You know, get a little bit of AP in here when you've got this double marksman with a Jarvan as well, and it locks in nicely with that wombo potential of the Jarvan with the Senna, Braum, Tristana as well. So a nice, strong front-to-back team fight has been assembled here by Bulldog.
Yeah, a lot of cogs that can turn on the Bulldog comp, and a lot of working parts that can nicely sync up together. And I want to keep my eye on that mid lane wins versus Nice Guy Dom, of course. As you said, Dom plays a lot of the Orianna, so if it is up, he generally will play it. And Orianna pretty decent in the early game too, so I'd like to see how aggressive Wins will be going, especially with that Ignite in his back pocket.
I mean, the Tristana has a lovely time at her stages of the game. Obviously, nice benefit of Orianna is that she does actually get passively quite tanky. Yeah, you think you put the ball on yourself, you get armor and magic, so you get the shield from that as well. So it does do a little bit to negate out that burst, and we're almost definitely going to be seeing an early Seekers picked up as well for Dom. But before he's able to go and get that Seekers, I think it's going to be pretty rough versus the Trist. You can try and match her push a little bit, but bearing in mind it costs a lot of mana for Orianna to push early on, especially the W is very expensive for how little it does. Meanwhile, Wins is going to be able to just also push using his range, and of course his E passive. And then, yeah, we might see some early plates. Maybe, of course, the classic level 2 all-in coming through from Wins as well. Because bearing in mind, Nice Guy Dom is running that TP, probably running Unsealed Spellbook, or a Keystone, but it does take a little bit of time to come online. You don't have access to that one level 1, level 2, whereas Wins definitely going to have that PTA available. We might even see some shenanigans with Rosalina doing something like a buff gank type path, just straight into the mid lane. Not doing red into mid, just to make sure the Wins gets level 2, but still trying to get some early pressure, force out a flash from Dom, get yourself some kill threat in the mid lane. Wins going to get nice and ahead. You turn that into some roams, bring the Tristana down to your dragon, maybe move it up to the top lane just to make sure that Kira doesn't get entirely behind. But of course, anywhere you put the Tristana, you're going to have a pretty happy time if there's an objective nearby.
Yeah, it has that early push, as you mentioned, and with these Drakes being so consequential to the later part of the game, it's nice to have that early push in the mid lane, get the nice priority there, and especially with the bottom lane, with the stack of the concussive blows from the Braum can really help out if Rosalina or even Wins wants to make a gank towards that bottom side, get priority there and help out picking up these Drakes. But what can No Name really do to try and kind of respond to this early projected gank path for Rosalina?
Well, it's pretty... You kind of know what Rosalina's going to do here, because you're not really looking for early ganks on, Kennen versus Kled. It's very hard for you guys to find that kill. onto the Kled, and can kind of weak early, Kled very strong. So you know he's going to be focusing bot side, so you just sort of do the same. You just match it. I mean, you can go up to the top lane yourself and try and get the advantage there, where you know who Rosaline is not really going to be. But if you know that Rosaline is going to be trying to snowball onto the Tristana, that really can be a massive threat here, and you know that you have that sort of kind of safe but kind of very squishy bot lane, because you think that the Senna doesn't actually have any escapes herself. She relies a lot on the Braum. So if you can get a good angle coming in on the flank there, get in on the gank, if they do mess up and over push, it can be very punishable. So it's really on No Name to just try and get the counter ganks off on Rosalina, and of course try to get his bot lane ahead. It's a hard lane to get an advantage in, but this is, again, Hasib and Oliver. They are very competent players, and I mean, we say competent. Oliver just randomly stopwatches in the middle of the lane most games, but you know, for the most part, competent players. You try and get some advantages through that, but keep your eyes on Rosalina, on where Rosalina is. Try and track that as best as possible, and any overcommitments on a counter gank will go pretty well.
I'm gonna keep my eye on Oliver as well for those death sentences, see if he can land it onto Jacob, since, as you mentioned already, the Senna is such a low mobility carry in that bottom side that once her flash is gone, she's pretty much a sitting duck. But I think we are just about to load into the game. There was a little bit of an issue with Jacob. He has not connected to the game, so we're just gonna have a little bit of
yeah, I believe that there's
extra pause there.
I think there's internet problems for quite a few members of Bulldog coming into this game, so maybe there's some of the recent weather has been a little bit rough for that area. Of course, I'm not sure which university it is they go to, but a lot of them play together in Newell, of course. So the thing about the Senna in the bot lane is obviously Senna Braum is really safe, because you have Braum shield, and then he can jump back into the Senna shroud, and it's very hard to get anything done. But the second that shield is down, or if you can get a good angle either around the shield or coming in behind the shield, get a good pincer going, that's when it really starts to come online. And obviously the secret to not getting pincered like that as Bulldog is, well, it's fine, we'll just like play under our turret, but then you're starting to maybe potentially give up Drake. So obviously Lee Sin has a dash on his W, so you can come in sort of from behind the lane over the wall at Tribush into the tower like that. But there's a lot of chat, good lord. Yeah, if you can get that pincer off behind the Senna Braum, then you are going to be able to find a lot. All right, let's see. Can casters see chat blue spirits? But okay, let's start at the top, boys. They're typing too fast. Oh no, who's plugging their Twitter? Ollie, stop spamming. You absolutely. Some people. All right, a lot of content in the chat here.
I'm not used to seeing the chat. Usually I just disable.
You got to turn it on when there's quality content in it, and clearly, the content here is quality. So that was a little bit of insight into what's going on in that game. And we'll just sort of wait for Jacob to get on into the match. See what's going on in chat. People are spamming weebs to help Hasib. Understandable.
I'm not sure if Hasib needs the help, to be fair. I'm kind of expecting them to win this bottom lane. Especially with the low damage that Senna has early on, just waiting to get the stacks of the passive.
I mean, Senna does quite well with the Braum in like very short trades very early on, because you think Braum Q slows, and then Senna autos, which is Glacial Augment, and then she gets the reset with the Q, which is another stack of the passive, and then she gets that sort of third auto whilst they're still slowed. So it's very easy to get that quick trade going. But again, this is something that if you're aware of it, remember it's a very good time to play the Hook Champions versus Senna, because her auto animation is so long that what happens is, when she lands one, the Braum Q comes through, she's like, right, okay, and we just take a knee, line this one up. It's pretty easy to hit the Q right at that point. So once that all goes through, you think, maybe this is a chance for us to land some fat hooks onto a thing. Who says, hi, I'm Jacob, has left the game, but is still running on down towards the map. So level 1 shenanigans, that was the plan. We thought Rosalina, Garish, nice strong combo with Braum Jarvan. They go, no, not going to risk it. Standard 5-point defense here. Let's look out for these early wards though, as Rosalina playing pretty far back in his own jungle, and No Name chilling in the middle of the river. So it looks like the advantage here could be going on over to London. They might be able to find themselves a little bit of an aggressive ward here, but they don't know that they have that potential 2v1. So it looks like, we're just going to go chill. Both sides probably putting it in that river bush. Actually, what am I talking about? It's No Name. He's playing Lee Sin. He doesn't want to do the ward trick. He needs his yellow trinket.
Definitely does, to try and just ward hop around the map.
Minions have spawned.
Not quite gonna do it too early though, as he makes his way over towards the red buff.
Alright, so No Name not looking to have any bot side shenanigans unless he wants to try and, I don't know, maybe go for the red to blue, force a vertical jungle or something, but not too sure how that one would pan out. There's also potential for a level 2 gank on mid, but in this meta that's very risky to look for a level 2 gank. On 10.3 you really want to just be sort of farming it up as much as possible, but I'm interested to see now how No Name wants to try and pan this one out. He may just go for buff grump, or buff grump buff into top lane and try and find a lead onto death by lollipops. Definitely a possibility, and if you have that Kled snowballing, it really makes your life a lot easier because you know that it's safe to leave your top lane alone and you can just sort of chill on the bot half the map, try and get those dragon controls. Meanwhile, Rosalina has gone for the old buff grump path here on the Jarvan, looking for that pure single target damage into a potential gank in the bottom lane, and Oliver sniffs this one out and gets a very nice early ward in the river to deter such a gank.
Might be able to make his way through the lane, but at this early stage, a lot less likely, as Oliver has a nice dodge away, but gets the hook. Gonna go in, ignites them, gets the flash out of Jacob. We'll get the miss down as well.
Oh,
Nice
little
damage
there. Very good read on the dodge from Jacob. Strong level 2 spike there, and that's basically set the tone for this bot lane entirely. The flash very early coming out from Jacob there, and now Rosalina looking to force gank. Actually, no, taking away the chickens here. Has a pretty good read that No Name is on the top half of the map, but he will take a fair bit of damage here as now Wins. Maybe a bit of miscommunication here. Wins moving now to ward out his bot side of the lane when Rosalina is in their enemy's bot side jungle. That's a good opportunity for Wins to come and get a ward on those chickens himself, or to go, hey, their jungler's probably not bot side, as we now see him up in the top lane.
Yep, Sonic Wave into the Resonating Strike, but he missed the bear trap on a rope, so we'll not get the pullback, and for the CC, won't get anything really from that top side gank. Rift Skull will be picked up by Rosalina.
Yeah, standard scuttle trades here. Both lanes looking, well, both junglers trying out these early ganks, but none of them able to find too much off the back of it. But the more I look at that ward from Wins, the more it upsets me, because like, you know that he's not on the bot half of the map because your Jarvan is on his chicken, so it's usually pretty safe. Now Wins is in a sticky situation because he doesn't know that No Name is right there on his chickens, and there is a light potential for a dive here. Rosalina coming in for the gank. No Name is here for the counter in the 2v2.
Yeah, flag and drag gets the flash out as well, and Rosalina should be going down here. First blood to No Name.
And that is the power of counter ganking a Jarvan. His flag and drag gets all of his damage and his only engage as well, but now there's a hook on the bot lane. The wall is down.
Yeah, a lot of damage going on down onto the Braum. Jacob in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of auto attacks, but the wave is there for to help him out. Gets the knock-on damage from the Q. Trying to get a lot of damage back, but no flashes, no heals burned.
Yeah. And this is the weakness of Jarvan here. EQ flash, cool, you now have no way out. And you are just dead in the 2v2 again. If Winston had that ward up on the top side, maybe they could have seen this coming. And also, it's kind of weird that Rosalina invaded the enemy jungle there onto the chickens, doesn't put any vision down at all. So, a bit of a miscommunication on how we want to use the vision coming through here from Bulldogs. But at the end of the day, they do go down, and now another fight in the bot lane.
Yeah, the mist. Custom blows also stacking. He flashes away, but the ignite is down as well. A couple more auto attacks will do it, but he flashes forward, gets the shield with the safeguard. Flash and heal burned from the bottom lane of Bulldog, but the TP is coming through. We'll go on to Blue Spirits, and this should be another kill going over. We'll just pop him, flash away. One more auto will do it. Lee Sin will be going down. 2 kills to Bulldog.
Alright, nice TP coming through there from Kira. It's so daunting to teleport as a level 5 cannon, but he's teleporting right on top of Blue Spirit, so he does not eat the ult, is able to find that 1 kill. And they blow both the summoners as well, so 2 kills traded back for Bulldog, like you said, now actually managing to get a lead in the early game, and then move through and start up that Ocean Dragon. They're going to take a fair bit of damage here coming through from it. Not going to do it particularly quickly, but there is no way that this can be contested by London, so the first Drake of the game will go over to Bulldog.
Yeah, it's a good start for them. Next Drake will be a Cloud Drake. So that will help them out if they can pick that up as well. So far, the lane that we thought would be going, well, the best for Bulldog is that Tristana lane, and he's already 12 CS behind.
Yeah, really not great how that one has panned out so far, with obviously the assist being handed over to Dom, but now the Vamp Scepter is picked up by Wins, so he's building up towards his Blade. Right now in a pretty heavy lull, we can see a lot of AP being picked up for Nice Guy Dom, so whilst Wins will be able to sustain through that, he's not going to be able to threaten too much. Although we do see that Dom actually ended up going for Airy, he didn't take the Unsealed Spellbook, so there's not too much aggressive threat coming through from Dom here now, but now Rosalina looks for the gank.
Yeah, goes aggressive with the rocket jump. We'll get the pullback with the shockwave, but Nice Guy Dom has no mana. No Name is there. In comes the teleport for the flank. Goes in with the sonic wave and resonating strike, and in he comes with the joust and finds the kill.
Alright, again, it's the problem with John. You EQ in, you don't hit, you don't know where their jungler is, you not keep track of the old TPs, and Kled comes straight on through. Now we can see that Bulldogs have done a very early rotation of their bot lane up into the top side, and I think it takes London a little bit by surprise, so they are able to find the sort of cheeky plate up there in the top lane, getting there a minute early for the Rift Tail, but really, why not? It's worked out. They've got the plates. However, of course, that kill was picked up onto death by Lollipops, who's looking to try and get a bit of a snowball going in this lane. Meanwhile, Kira is actually building towards that Oblivion Orb first, so holding off on picking up a Seekers yet, and that could be quite risky. However, the Slicing Maelstrom is now available for the disengage should Kira need it.
Yeah, and can do a decent amount of damage as well, of course. Not in this early stage, but later on for those team fights, he will be a menace. Now, rotating their bottom side up towards this top side for the side of London. Will be matched. Rosalina nearby, so Oliver has to back away. We'll be going back to try and get this control.
No, he's not back
connect, but it's a 3 versus 3 now with the Lee Sin coming through. Oliver will just be cut down. Jacob picks up that kill. No Name has concussive blow stacking.
Watch the
halfway
Tristana.
there.
Watch for Orianna. Okay. Alright. Good moves. Not the opportune moment to disconnect. You really do hate to see it.
It's just UK broadband.
Yeah, it's
Best
a little
in
bit.
the world.
We're getting a word in our RS soon about what that one's about, but so far so good for No Name really in this game. Obviously there are some shenanigans down there in the bot lane. Those kills hand over, lovely TP coming through from Kira to secure those ones and sort of try and get a little bit of an advantage in his lane. But No Name has done exactly what he had to do in these early stages of the game versus the Jarvan. Yep, just counter gank him. If you counter gank for Jarvan, it is exceptionally easy to kill him. Again, you got no EQ. We've just seen it again in the top lane. However, that looks like a fight where Oliver kind of greeding pretty hard for that ward when they're both level 5. You think if there are some level 6s here, especially with the Old Misfortune, this goes quite well. But you see, he knows they're both there. He's not fully aware that Rosalina's here, but as a team, you sort of should always have a good idea where their jungler is, but then bada bing, bada boom. He's face checked pretty aggressively. The kick isn't enough. It's thrown into the Braum shield as well, so it's not doing too much. And we can see now, around about here is where we get the pause coming through, but looks like No Name actually does manage to get out to safety. They kite back into their blue jungle, so Tristana isn't going to be able to pick up any extra kills there quite just yet.
And it's all about the fact that he greeted for the ward there. He didn't even get to pick up that control ward. Then
Didn't even get the ward.
The double Q was even missed from No Name, so nothing really that they could do. Just managed to get away with his life using the ward hop onto the control ward, but it's a bit of a question mark there from Oliver.
Yep, not perfect, but does happen every now and then. Giving over those extra kills in the early stage of the game, though, isn't great, of course, when you're trying to get a bit of a snowball going. But we are now back on into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Oliver humbly returning to that top lane. The Rift Herald does still stand. They've got about 2 minutes before any bot laners wants to be back on the other half of the map, so we're going to see a reset here from No Name. Going to sort of stagger the recalls here a little bit, but he comes back with a full warrior enchant and 2 control wards. That's something you are pretty happy to see on your Lee Sin, as now both junglers move up towards the top side of the map and look for this Herald.
They will be pinging the fact that the Herald is up and that presumably the J4 is towards that top side. So they will look to start that one up and rotate over from the side of London. Rosalina will manage to dodge away, but will be hooked by the death sentence. I'll have to try and walk this one out, healed up by the Senna.
Yeah, dangerous times for London. You can see Oliver doesn't want to take that hook in because he knows he is only a level 5, Grish level 6, very dangerous to follow that hook through. Everyone playing it nice and slow, but the longer this goes, the closer to spawning we are for the Cloud Dragon. That one's going to be up in just 1 minute. And then you have to make a decision as the bot lanes. Do you want to swap up? Oh, so do you want to swap back down? Or do you want to stay around for the Herald? And because there's a Tristana in the mid lane, there's definitely an advantage for Bulldog because they can sort of keep their bot lane top, trying to keep up some pressure, and then just send for Trist to go duo the Dragon with the Jarvan. Yes, this does lose you a little bit of pressure because if London realise that's what's going on, they can now try and have a bit of a 3v2 in the top lane. But it's Senna Braum. They're pretty safe in that kind of situation, so that could be a potential play for Bulldog. However, we now see every bot laner recessing, so it looks like the call may just be to go back for that Cloud Drake instead.
Yeah, looks like Braum and Senna will make their way towards that Cloud Drake. MF and Thresh will just go back towards that top side, so it looks like they're going to put the priority down around that Rift Herald. But all of their vision is towards that bottom side.
Well, yeah, no name starting that one up on the solo. Keeping Hasib up in the solo lane as well. They know that there's going to be a big fight here for that dragon.
Yeah, Dom caught out, flash forward, slicing Maelstrom. In comes the railgun as well. Nice guy. Dom will just be destroyed. Wins with a nice busted shot. Will pick that up. He flashed forward for it to pick up the kill. But the Rift Herald will be taken by London Esports.
But with that death on Dom, it does slightly delay the start of the Cloud, so there is an opportunity for a Kled or Engage to go for that one. But it seems like a little bit of a miscommunication there from London, because it seemed to me like they were going to say, yeah, fine, we'll trade it, we'll take the Herald, keep Misfortune up in this solo lane, up top lane to get a plate, and yeah, she'll be able to go through and try and get a little bit of extra gold funneled through there. But then once the pick happens in mid, suddenly you have to bring down the Misfortune, and yes, you do make the trade you wanted, but I feel like they were looking for a little bit more, but they might find it now.
Yeah, looking for it with the charge, goes forward underneath the tower, in comes the bullet time, but the TP will be channeled as well. Death by Lavapops will be slowed down thanks to the Glacial Fissure. Looking forward to stack cuts of blows, goes forward, only half stacked. Now gets the stun down onto Nonim. He has to flash away as the box gets put down just to try and disengage. It will get out.
Yeah, and that's the danger of playing Misfortune into Braum. He's just going to block your ult and then cancel yours with his. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a hole in the composition here of London. Letting that Braum through, always risky when you're playing that or planning on playing that Misfortune. Now the Kled ult being used as well, so it's a heavy engage tool. Burnt away. But it looks like London really want to try and force something there so that they can use this Herald whilst there are still plates standing. There are 15 plates on the map for London to try and take, so they want to get this Herald used as quickly as possible. Also, it's using up vital trinket slots for the Lee Sin, and obviously he wants to be able to ward hop about. So they really want to try and force something out, but it looks like Bulldog have been able to negate that, neutralize it. When the Herald gets deployed, it does not look like it will be getting much in the way of plate gold, providing they can hold one more lane here, one more wave here in the mid lane.
Yeah, just over a minute left until those plates go down. Lee Sin just gonna take the red buff instead, and as you said, looks like they're just gonna wait to use this Rift Herald. Almost half gone on the timer for that.
Well, let's see if the... Oh no, just Bulldog didn't really feel like defending mid. I had to do it for 1 more minute. But now the Herald is going to get dropped. This is a lot of plate gold going over to Blue Spirits. Ollie is stealing a lot. We have to see that No Name is trying to sprint away as much as possible so that he doesn't take any gold with the Herald. But it looks like it does actually go over in a 3-way split. So that's kind of rough. But they still managed to get some plates out of that Herald with 30 seconds to spare.
Yeah, it's good use of the Herald. Not the most optimum one is where you use it with 2 tower plates left, so you can get the optimal amount of gold share there, but it is a decent use of the Rift Herald just to get a little bit extra damage down onto that mid lane tier 1.
They don't kill the tower, obviously, which is what happens if you drop it with 2 plates, but they have 3 people hitting it. They're still getting all the plates. It's not perfect because they're not sharing it optimally because they're splitting it between the Lee Sin and the Thresh as well. It's not all going on to Blue Spirits like you'd like, but it was the best Herald they were going to get, given the sort of state of the game. You know, you wait any longer and you're not getting any plates at all, so you sort of have to take it in that situation.
And you're hoping to try and get this first tower down as well for the little bit extra gold for the first brick, but so far, not going to put too much of an investment in this middle lane, just going to put both bottom laners towards this middle lane and juke it out, pushing the way back and forth. We'll miss the death sentence, so we won't be able to find anything.
Yeah, Hook not quite going to connect. Meanwhile, solo laners be farming. They're just chilling in the side lanes, you know. Catching up a wave after wave. Much like that one hit summer pop single song that existed that one time. And you're pretty happy with that on both teams, really. I mean, Wynn's looking to scale up on the Tristana and a hook.
That's a nice hook into the box. Flash away will be blocked. So we'll decide just to cancel his bullet time. Ignite went down onto Jacob as well.
Yeah, so able to get the flash out of Jacob, but again, that's the power of the Braum. So we see that both the mid laners have now picked up their first items here, and at this point, this is when you think that Wins is going to start coming online. Yes, you have the Orianna burst coming through, but just having this extra ADC to stack up with your Braum is so vital for the Bulldog comp. They're really looking to try and make something happen now. But the Silk Shoes have been picked up by Dom, so he does have a lot of burst, especially seeing as no one has any magic resist yet on the side of Bulldog, as why would they? So, we have to think, what's the next plan going to be? Well, Mountain Dragons in 20 seconds, so that sounds about right. Death by Lollipop has the teleport and ult available, however, Kira does not have the teleport, so it looks like he's going to have to just walk on down to this lane. We see he is now lurking away in the mid lane, as we see with that nice little bird's eye view.
Yep, ping is coming down from Bulldog. Gonna try and establish their own presence around this Drake. Oliver, look for the pick. He'll be picked himself. He has to flash over the wall. Flag Drake comes through. In comes a slicing Maelstrom as well as the railgun will be used. Rosalina goes golden inside his own Cataclysm. No one goes down in the fight. Looking for a pick, a further pick. Kara will manage to get away. Didn't want to go through on the death sentence. Everyone's so low here. We'll start up the Drake on the side of Bulldogs.
Death by Lollipop's looking to find a TP. He gets it into the mid lane. Gonna be able to throw down the ultimate as well. Blue Spirit's just a few seconds on a bullet time, but he doesn't go over the wall. Wait,
here
no,
comes
the
charge. Lee Sin steals away the Drake. Can they steal the fight though, as Jacob will just be cut down here? Actually uses the heal, survives a little bit longer, but Wins picks up the first kill to fight for Bulldogs. They will trade one for one. London
well, that went well for London, but I was very lost. I was looking at Dom. I thought he was Blue Spirits setting up for the fattest bullet time of the century. And it turns out Blue Spirits was farming mid, but they get the steal, they get the kills. That's really all you want in that situation. And oh, now they... Alright, well... Hasib's recalled on a... It's just, man, you've got a pink ward right there, buddy. Like, just a little bit of greed coming through there for Hasib. The perfect man. Not quite so perfect anymore, as does make that one little mistake. And now let's go Dom, looking to try and find a bit of a combo here. Not made of mana.
Yeah, he uses the ultimate though. He has a lot of damage, just a couple more auto attacks. He knows he's dead. He just used the ultimate just for the style points.
That's Orianna mastery right there. Now he plays the champion a lot. He knows exactly how much damage he's doing in any given situation. Again, people yet to pick up the magic resist, of course, so the burst, very nice. We see now, though, the Oblivion Orb has been picked up for Kira, so you can say the same for him, as there is no Emma on the side of London either. So both these mages are going to have some pretty explosive team fights, but right now, the Herald is being started up by Bulldog. London no, and they're moving into contest.
Yep, the second Rift Herald, down to half health here. Doesn't have the bullet time quite available just yet. We'll miss the death sentence, but the miss comes down. Out comes the ultimate from the Braum as well. Oliver will be going down here. Kira comes through just to force London
What a
away.
proto belt.
Picks up his fourth kill of the game.
Alright. Kira comes through with the teleport. Pretty big to note that TP is not going to be available. He doesn't have the possibility of TP flanking, and he will not be able to respond to the Kled. And TP, so vital, getting those flanks off with the cannon. It's such an important part of the kit, so keep your eyes on that for the next 5 minutes. Now the Herald has been used, and it didn't break the tower, pretty vital that that one still stands. But Baron spawns in a minute, and we think in about 3 minutes, we're going to see the teleport available for the Kled. So around about that time, Death by Lollipops splitting straight down that bottom lane, and Kira not going to be able to respond.
Will be a bit of a interesting situation when that happens. But 2 minutes until the next Drake. 30 seconds, as we said, on the Baron. Gonna get the reset coming out from Wins now. Oh, he cancels his back, so he's just gonna continue with the push in the bottom side. Doesn't have teleport available.
Yeah, you sort of really want to get Wins up and with the team now. I think he's sitting on quite a lot of gold, I think. So he just got like 3 kills and only really came back with Zerka Greaves, but he's definitely putting out a lot of threat onto towers. He's very safe versus the Kled. Yeah, look at that, 2,600 gold. He's very safe versus the Kled and the solo lane, because of course, Kled jumps on you, you rocket jump away and ult him if you have to. You know, it's pretty fine in that sense. But really, do you just want to put him up with a team? Like, he's so strong, it's really helping out your team fights, especially when, of course, you pair him up with the Braum, which we haven't really mentioned a lot, but Garish has been doing a really good job this game of just blocking up Blue Spirits and really keeping him out of these fights. And now the fact that Knight's Vow has been thrown onto Jacob does indicate that Wins is going straight back on the split push. And to be fair, nobody can match him.
Yeah, not at this early stage anyway. Well, it's not even that early.
20 minutes
the
in,
20-minute mark. But you're still waiting for the MF to come online, the Orianna start to get even more powerful, reach that 2 or 3 item power spike, and then he might be able to match Wins in the side lane. But it's more about proactivity, it seems, which team really comes out with the pick or with the team fight win.
Well, there is something to be said about having a pretty explosive, easy to execute wombo. Yeah, if you just sort of do it first, you're going to have a nice time. But again, we can't understate the Braum, the cannon disengage as well. So useful in these situations. You know, if London looks to try and find an explosive fight, as long as Garish is there and doesn't immediately die before he can put up the wall, and you know, he's got Guardian, he's Braum, he's pretty tanky, it's safe to say that that won't happen. And he's going to be able to negate so much just by the fact that he has his wall. He's able to put up that shield. So keep your eyes on Garish in the fights. Now, this dragon spawning up in 15 seconds. We've still got a minute or 2 on Death by Lollipops' TP, so he's going to be waltzing on down to this lane. But of course, he is Kled, has the ultimate, can try and start up a fight or get to an already started one rather rapidly. So expect to see him staying in the mid lane and keeping the prio, keeping that push going, maybe try to threaten out some towers. As now the dragon has spawned, and there is a lot of crime in Portsmouth as a fire engine goes straight past my house.
Well, the house started up onto this Mountain Drake. Has the ultimate available for Nice Guy Dom if he wants to use it. Same for Kara. They go forward, they pick off the Kennen. Didn't get a chance to use his ultimate, but look at the health bars on the side of Bulldogs. They're just going to be minced through. They will trade one back so far, but it goes over to the Braum tree now. Over to London Esports. Looking for Death by Lollipops, but don't seem to have enough damage just yet. Oliver will get thrown down onto the mist. We'll get flayed back. Looking for the damage. It is beautiful as Blue Spirits picks up his second kill of the game.
I don't know if it's necessary, but I like it. Flash around the wall. But important to note, Blue Spirits does pick up the shutdown there on the Tristana. A lot of gold in his pockets. Let's watch this fight back again, see how this one starts out. Nice Guy Dom looking to try and fish out a pretty juicy ultimate here. He's just got the ball in nice areas. Let's see what happens. Rosaline is chilling in the pit. The dragon has no health bar, but why would it? And then lovely engage through onto Kira. Like you said, no opportunity to get that ult out, and it's so important in this fight. Now Wins is jumping into the middle of the team and then flashing even further in. He's not able to find the kill onto Dom. Then you see Blue Spirit's going to be able to run him down. Flash forward from Oliver. Hook goes wide. None of us expected it to hit anyway. You know, what can you do? And then they are going to be able to, of course, come through down and collapse onto here. I like the flash from Death by Lollipops. No idea if it was vital, but it just sort of flashed around the Braum to then get the E onto Jacob. Garish immediately says, all right, you're done for, and then just runs out. But like I said, shutdown, very important. That one's onto Blue Spirits. That's a lot of money being handed over there into this primary carry for the London squad.
It was interesting to see that flash from Jacob as well. Pretty much unnecessary. I think he tried to flash over the wall, but did narrowly miss it. So did give up his life there. And now it's 8-8. 2 Drakes to 2, but 3 towers to London Esports. So It feels like they're heavily in the driver's seat, especially with just about 4,500 gold lead. Now Stormrazor finished for wins. We'll get the Thresh Express to safety.
And so it goes for Drakes. I think the mountains are really important in this matchup because you have two people that are building a lot of health in the form of Kled and Lee Sin, and now at this point they're going to start getting a little bit more armor, unless they have to go for something like a Sterax on either of them. So getting those free resistances really does have a lot of value. Of course, it's nice with the Thresh as well. But both of these teams are looking for that sort of hard engage, bursty fight. And these things like having the Cloud Drake isn't too useful. It's just 10% off your ult. Like, yes, that's nice, but realistically, London can play around that. Likewise, with the healing from the Ocean Drake, the fights are going to be over pretty quickly. So to be able to have these resistances, especially if you can get one or two more of these mountain shards, if the game goes long enough, really does add up when it comes to negating out a lot of damage, especially when you have a lethality builder on the side of Bulldog, like Jacob, and Magic Pen being picked up by Kara. It's a lot of free and effective stats in the team fights for London.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot harder for Jacob to get the damage down. He only has 46 stacks of his passive as well, so he has just about the range, I think, of a Caitlyn at this point. And as you said, building lethality, building that into armor building champions like the Thresh, like the Kled, the Lee Sin, it's gonna feel bad for him until he starts to build a little bit more crit and start to do a bit more damage.
No, it's not even so much that they're building the armor, it's just the free armor that you're getting from the, from the Mountain Dragons. Like I said, you know, they're just stacking health right now, but getting that free armor, I think it's, they're on 12% free armor right now. That's pretty nice.
Not gonna say no to a bit of free armor. Now, 2 minutes, 15 seconds until the next Drake spawns. Baron is still alive. They have to try and establish their vision around that objective.
Yeah, the Baron is up and both top laners have TP. However, Kira is still chilling on the top half of the map. You think this could be a good opportunity to go down that bot lane. However, there is a bit of a risk, of course, if Kira does show down there, but Death by Lollipop's just going to ult him and run him down at this stage. Very strong on that Kled right now. So Kira says, no, I'm just going to chill around the Baron and wait for the fight that could break out. And we see it could be pretty soon, as No Name and Oliver both lurking up on the top half of the map, maybe trying to find out a pick. But right now there are 5 members of Bulldog basically in and around that tri-bush. So they think, maybe not. Maybe let's just wait for Death by Lollipops to draw someone bot.
Yeah, just waiting for the push to come through from the Kled. And there was a ping onto that tier 2 in the bottom side, so they would try capitalize on the fact that all of Bulldogs is towards that Baron pit. They got the stun down onto Oliver with the root. Kira gonna make his way towards his bottom side, but he will not be on time to defend the tower. It will go down, so that's 4 towers to 1 in favor of London. They didn't get anything for the rotation.
Yeah, London not picking up. Bulldog not getting a lot off the back of that one. Now London are going to be able to grab a top tower as well off the just sloppy rotation there. Because nobody's able to really match Death by Lollipops right now. It makes you wonder why there's no Zhonya's in this game. I think it'd be really nice for Dom to pick up at some point, especially with the threat of this Tristana jumping in. As we have seen in the last fight, you know, Wynn's jumped in and then flashed even further, so you think having that defensive ability going to be really nice. But Kira as well, you really want the Zhonya's on that champion. He's got the stopwatch now, but it's not so much the stasis is very nice, but it's also just the armor itself is really going to help you out when you're up in that lane versus a Kled, and you do need to be in the lane versus the Kled, otherwise, as we see now, he's just going to keep running down the bot lane and just taking more and more towers.
And even with just the Seeker's Arm Guard for the passive health and armor, it's good to have that, and a lot of high tier players call it pretty overpowered because of the stats that you can get even just from that early build of the item. As the flash comes through, but the Cataclysm is also there with the wombo combo of the ultimate from Kira. There's the ultimate from the Orianna, deals so much damage. Wynn's just about goes down. The double kill for the MF, looking for even more. Flash away from the Braum. Can they win this fight? Blue Spirits looking for the 3rd kill. Will manage to find it. Jacob gonna try and get away. Bear Trap on a rope. Will connect. Will not get the pullback. Still looking for more. Jacob should be going down here. Death by Lollipops will find that kill. Almost got the ace, just Kira surviving.
Oh, my, that fight went some ways. Now they are on the pink ward here, so there's a chance that Kira could go down and look for maybe the Mountain Dragon there, because no, just going to get the wave mid. Not going to try and risk soloing out that one. However, Rosalina spawns soon. Maybe there will be a contest for that dragon, but not for this Baron. One's going down relatively quickly. London going to be able to secure that one. Now look for a fast reset, but that fight went all sorts of ways in my head. Honestly, I kind of thought the Rosalina was just Astro-inting at the start, you know? It just EQ flash in very randomly. It's like, hey, what's going on? It says, oh, hang on, you're like 5v3. This works out quite well. And he's managed to able to start off a pretty good fight, but once the rest of London turn up with their pretty hefty gold lead, it all starts to go downhill for Bulldog. Now, the mountain is the objective. Of course, already said why this is pretty nice for both teams. And the hook goes through, connecting onto Rosalina, but not quite going to take that one. It is a little bit blind for Oliver right now, and his team's not made of cooldowns. No summoners on blue spirits, and they might just want to wait for the Kled ult. Let Kled go push in the mid lane, and then he can ult on down. Meanwhile, the dragon started up by Bulldog.
Yeah, has the flank from Kira. Looks like he's just going to back away and get the TP in. Goes through. Manages to pick up the Mountain Drake on the side of Bulldogs. Get the
but meanwhile, in the base, the inhib's going to go down. That is a trade that London are happy to take, as now their squad tries to stop the bees in the jungle. They're not going to be able to find that, though. The inhib still falls, and now they've got a nice wave pushing through in the bottom lane if they want to continue this siege.
Kled going to go towards that top side as well, so they have a 1-3-1 here, it seems, with the mid lane towards that middle lane. Kled going to get the damage down to the top tier 2. Going to be responded by Kira. Can he really do anything here? Slicing Wisdom is available, we'll use it. Locks him underneath the tower, but Death by Lollipops is surprisingly tanky. Goes forward with the charge. Goes golden just to buy a little bit of time. Will manage to get the disengage, as Redemption will heal them up.
Man, that's a lot of cooldowns and a lot of time spent by London there. Blue Spirit's tagged up by the roots. Rosalina looks for the engage.
Yeah, it goes golden. Oh,
nice
just about blocks him. Shut down gold over to wins, but they're gonna lose this top tier 3. Can't really call that worth it.
It's a bit of a rough overcommitment, really, as another route coming on through. This time onto Dom.
Nice use of the ward, but wasn't enough to block the lantern.
Oh my.
We'll get the flash out of Oliver as well, as Rosalina will just dunk him down. They lost the mid inhib, lost the bot and top inhib towers.
Honestly, Bulldog could have lost a lot more. The thing is, you just want Death by Lollipops in the top lane so that he can ult down, right? And then when he goes up, he blows the ult from Kira. Great. You know, he's taken out the Maelstrom. But then he ults in further, and No Name is up there as well. I'm not really sure why No Name wasn't in the bot lane, but if they'd gotten the kill on Kira, maybe it's worth, but realistically, they blow a lot of cooldowns for not a lot of gain, and then whilst they have 2 people top, you can now try to find that fight on the bot lane. We see the kill picks up onto Blue Spirits, and a heavy shutdown found from Nice Guy Dom straight into Rosalina's pockets as well. So all in all, it's not awful for Bulldog. Of course, they do have all these exposed inhibitors, but the inhib towers themselves are not worth a lot of gold. As we do now dive on into a replay, so we see a little bit better. So there's the fight up in the top lane where a lot of cooldowns get blown. And then, I don't know, Bulldog's sort of just running around in circles here. This is a good opportunity to take this out, but then, yeah, Haim Jacob just able to land that route. And I love, look at the knockup from Rosalina here. Perfectly timed, as it just takes Hasib out of the lantern there. The ultimate from Dom, not going to do a lot, and then the exact same thing happens again. Good ult from Winds to slow down the taking of the lantern there. And then there it is, bada bing, bada boom. Flag, drag, dunk.
Now the reset has come through from London. We'll have Kled towards the top side, MF towards the bot, just get that wave pushed out. I'm going to make the rotation over towards the mid lane. Super's going to make their way towards that middle lane as well. So we'll soon be in the base. They have 2 exposed inhibs, top and bot.
Well, okay, so the thing is that the Baron has now expired, and London didn't get as much as they wanted from it. They wanted to take out at least 2 inhibs with that Baron, and they traded the Mountain Dragon for it. So it's really important now that they are able to find this inhib here in the bot lane, because if they do that, then yes, they can now start to look towards that Baron again and try to close out the game before the Elder Dragon becomes a problem. But before that, Bulldogs actually have an opportunity to now pick up the Mountain Soul, and we've said so many times how important Mountain Dragons are going to be with these 2 comps.
There was actually just nothing that Bulldog could do to respond to that push in the bottom lane. They just
kind of ran around in circles in their own base. I feel like they could have done something, they just didn't.
Well, there's Just nothing that they did do as the Unbreakable comes through from the Braum. We'll manage to get away. I have to feel that once the super minions make their way into the base and the bot and the mid, that they can just freely take this inhib, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Gonna get themselves away.
Rosalina might be looking to find out an engage here. You know where both the solo lanes are, however, 2 teleports are up. It's a little bit risky for Bulldog right now, but you think they surely have to do something unless they want to put this entire game on a potential Baron steal. Right now they do save their top lane tower, but like I say, it is just the super minions coming in from the mid and bot lane. It is very dangerous times for Bulldog, but it does mean it is free farm being handed on over to the carries, and you feel like Wins should really be the one picking up those supers. He clears them the fastest, but instead they've got Senna who clears them exceedingly slow, and Wins is up in the top lane clearing out the normal waves. No teleport for Wins.
Yeah, we'll find a pick here though. Deciding not to go onto it, but they get the Senna flash away and the heal. Will just about survive. There's the kickback comes through onto Rosalina. They just get a takedown to Jarvan. That's 2 kills so far. Actually, 1 kill so far as the Braum will get the ultimate. They almost killed Jacob, but didn't quite get him earlier on as the railgun will not do any damage, really.
Yeah, not really a lot coming out on that one, but the dragon will be picked up by London. You used to think, what's going on with the lane allocations here from Bulldog? Because they have Wins up in the top lane. I mean, he should be playing the mid wave, but also Kira has TP, so just send Kira into the top lane and have Wins where Kira was farming out that bot wave of supers. And then Wins can actually be at the fight. As it stands, he's sort of not really. And now they lose not only the Mountain, but surely the Baron as well.
Nothing they can do to try and contest this. J4 is dead. And they get 5 Baron buffs for free. Now they have 3 Mountain Drakes. Still don't have Mountain Soul yet. Need to pick up that 4th Drake if they want to get that. But I kind of have the funny feeling that they don't really need Mountain Soul to close out this game.
Yeah, it's not going to do too much to help you take out those inhibs. Though it's nice to deny the engages, but realistically, when you are 9,000 gold ahead, the engages kind of just don't happen. If we look over at the comp, at this point, Rosalina is effectively completely useless on the Jarvan. Now, once you've hit this stage of the game, he's only got 3 items. He's not tanky enough to make it through, and he's got Adaptive Helm. Because you know those Orianna autos. Yeah. So they're, yeah. Because
they're a thing.
Who needs armor? Who wants Randuin's? Who wants Locket? Am I right? But gonna go ahead and pick up that one. So he's very squishy right now and not able to do his primary job of dunking and engaging. We cannot say the same for Death by Lollipops. He's going to be able to just charge on and completely really start up these fights, and so much damage for Nice Guy Dom as well, with the Ludens, with the Death Cap, and now the defensive Zhonya's as well. One good Shockwave will end this game.
Yeah, but they get the dunk down with the Cataclysm, but that's not something you want to be taking there, my friend. As the bullet time comes through, will be blocked mostly by the Braum, but goes golden on the side of Jacob. Will be just pulled back and taken down. Blue Spirits picks up that kill, but that's a great Shockwave from the mid laner for the ace. And that will be the base, and that will be the second win for London Esports.
London, go ahead, pick up the dub there. 12k gold in the lead at the end. It's a bit of a shaky start. It seems a little rough. There's times before, hang on, maybe they might actually be throwing this one, but they had the superior macro play when it came down to it. They were able to move across the map, get those extra picks that they needed, just have a little bit of a better understanding of the game, make those trades, find those picks, gets the kills, get the leads, and that is League of Legends.
And it's exactly what I predicted in my predictions for London to get the dub there. And unfortunately for me, NSG didn't win earlier on, so I'm still a little bit behind trying to catch up there. But it's good to see.
I had faith in the Blue Spirits on the bot lane. Clearly, I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because
it's mostly the Kled and Orianna.
Ollie, buddy. Hasib,